Ever wondered what causes that painful sore throat? Could it be strep throat? Strep throat, while common, is no ordinary sore throat. It's a bacterial infection that can cause a variety of symptoms and complications if left untreated. But what makes it so unique? Why is it important to differentiate it from a regular sore throat? These questions are critical to not only understanding strep throat but also in managing it effectively. Imagine waking up with a sore throat. You might dismiss it as a common cold symptom, but what if it's more than that? What if it's strep throat? Understanding this condition is crucial because it isn't something you can ignore. It requires proper treatment and care. And that's what we're here to explore. We'll delve into its causes, how to recognize its symptoms, and what treatment methods are available. So, settle in as we unravel the mystery of strep throat. So, what exactly triggers this uncomfortable condition known as strep throat? Well, the culprit behind this ailment is a bacterium, a tiny microbe that goes by the name Streptococcus pyogenes, or Group A strep for short. This little invader is responsible for the sore, scratchy throats, high fevers, and often debilitating discomfort that characterizes strep throat. It's a crafty organism, capable of surviving in various environments within our body, all while causing a whole lot of trouble. But how does this bacterium make its way from one person to another, you might wonder? The answer is quite simple: through the very air we breathe. When someone who's infected with strep throat coughs or sneezes, they release tiny droplets carrying the bacteria into the air. These airborne droplets can then be inhaled by those nearby, providing a direct route for the bacteria into a new host. But that's not the only way Streptococcus pyogenes spreads its mischief. It can also hitch a ride on shared food or drinks. Picture this: you're at a family gathering, and your cousin with a sore throat decides to take a sip from your drink. Unbeknownst to you, that simple act could have just passed the strep bacteria onto you. And it doesn't stop there. The bacterium can even survive on surfaces for short periods of time. So, if an infected person touches a doorknob, a book, or a smartphone, and then you touch the same object, there's a chance you could pick up the bacteria too. But don't panic. Understanding the cause and means of transmission of strep throat is a significant part of the battle. Being aware of how this bacterium spreads gives us the knowledge to take necessary precautions to avoid falling prey to it. Knowing the cause is the first step, but recognizing the symptoms is equally important, and that's what we'll delve into next, so stay tuned. How can you tell if you or someone else might have strep throat? Well, the first telltale sign usually comes in the form of an uninvited guest, a severe and sudden sore throat. It's not the usual scratchy irritation that accompanies a common cold, but rather a painful sensation that can make swallowing feel like a Herculean task. This discomfort when swallowing is another key symptom of strep throat. You might find yourself dreading your next meal or even a simple sip of water because of the pain. But remember, it's crucial to keep yourself hydrated and nourished even when every gulp feels like a challenge. Now imagine you're peering into a mirror, opening your mouth wide. If you spot red and swollen tonsils, sometimes with white patches or streaks of pus, it's a strong indicator of strep throat. This inflammation is your body's response to the bacterial invaders, so don't be alarmed. It's simply your immune system doing its job. As you continue your self-examination, cast your eyes towards the roof of your mouth. Do you see tiny red spots dotting the area? These petechiae, as they're known in medical terms, are another common symptom of strep throat. They might look alarming, but they're just another sign that your body is putting up a fight. And let's not forget about fever. A high temperature often accompanies strep throat, as your body turns up the heat in an attempt to kill off the bacteria. So if you're feeling unusually warm, it might not be due to that extra layer of clothing. But here's the thing, not everyone will experience all these symptoms. Some might have a few, others might have all, and for some, the symptoms might be so mild they hardly notice them. That's why it's important to seek medical advice if you suspect strep throat. Now that we've recognized the signs, what can we do about it? Stay tuned to find out. In the next segment, we'll delve into the treatment options for strep throat and how you can soothe that sore throat and get back to feeling like yourself again. You've identified the symptoms, so what's the next step? When strep throat is suspected, it's time to visit the doctor. The doctor can confirm strep throat through a quick test, typically a throat swab, and the results can be ready in just about 20 minutes. If the rapid test comes back negative, but the doctor still suspects strep throat, a throat culture may be sent to a lab for further testing. Now, if the test confirms strep throat, antibiotics are the most common and effective treatment. Penicillin and amoxicillin are two such antibiotics that are often prescribed. They work by killing the bacteria causing the infection and reducing the severity and length of symptoms. But here's an important point to remember. Even if you start to feel better, it's crucial to take the full course of antibiotics as prescribed by your doctor. Stopping the medication early might allow the bacteria to survive, multiply, and cause a recurrence of the infection. In some cases, it could even lead to more serious complications like rheumatic fever or kidney inflammation. So, follow the doctor's instructions to the letter. Treatment, of course, doesn't stop with medication. Rest and hydration are key to a speedy recovery. Warm liquids such as chicken soup or tea with honey can soothe a sore throat, while cold treats like ice pops can help numb the throat and alleviate pain. Over-the-counter pain relievers can also be used to manage fever and discomfort, but always consult your doctor before starting any new medication. While antibiotics are effective, they aren't without side effects. Some people may experience nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea. If these symptoms persist or worsen, it's important to consult your doctor immediately. And remember, strep throat is highly contagious. Until you've been on antibiotics for at least 24 hours, it's best to stay home and avoid close contact with others to prevent spreading the infection. Treatment is key, but prevention is always better than cure. So in the next segment, we'll discuss how to protect yourself and others from this pesky bacterium. Stay tuned.
Scene script. How can we protect ourselves and others from contracting strep throat? That's the question on everyone's lips, isn't it? Well, it all comes down to good old-fashioned hygiene and mindfulness of our surroundings. Firstly, let's talk about hand hygiene. It's simple, but it's one of the most effective ways to prevent the spread of many types of infection, including strep throat. Washing your hands regularly, especially before eating and after coughing or sneezing, can significantly reduce the risk of getting infected. It's not just about running your hands under water for a second or two, though. Make sure you're washing them thoroughly with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds. And if soap and water aren't readily available, hand sanitizers are a great alternative. Next, let's consider our interactions with others. Close contact with someone who's infected can increase your chances of getting strep throat. So if you know someone's sick, it's best to keep a little distance. It's not about being rude, it's about being safe. Remember, strep throat can spread through respiratory droplets when a person coughs or sneezes. So be mindful of your environment and the people around you. Lastly, avoid sharing personal items. This may seem like common sense, but it's worth mentioning. Sharing things like toothbrushes, eating utensils, or even drinks can be a fast track to catching strep throat. Each time we use these items, we leave behind bacteria that can easily be picked up by the next person. So keep your personal items to yourself and encourage others to do the same. In the grand scheme of things, these preventative measures may seem small, but their impact on your health and the health of those around you can be huge. It's about creating a culture of prevention, and each of us plays a part in that. Knowledge is power, and now you're armed to protect yourself and others from strep throat. Let's quickly recap what we've learned about strep throat. This bacterial infection is caused by the group A Streptococcus bacteria, and it's a common and contagious illness. It can affect anyone, but it's particularly prevalent among children and teenagers. The primary symptoms to watch out for include a sore throat, difficulty swallowing, fever, and red swollen tonsils, often with white patches or streaks of pus. When it comes to treating strep throat, antibiotics are the go-to solution. They help in reducing the duration and severity of symptoms, preventing complications, and reducing the risk of spreading the infection to others. Prevention is just as important, if not more. Frequent hand washing, avoiding close contact with infected individuals, and not sharing personal items can significantly reduce your risk of catching strep throat. Remember, if you suspect you or someone else might have strep throat, seek medical advice. Stay healthy, stay informed. For more health-related information, don't forget to subscribe.